I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So CPS
Yeah, how
Boxing
you
News
doing?
in Boxing News Media from New York. It's a lot, it's presenting from Baltimore, Maryland. Hasim Rahman Jr. Hey champ, how's it going? Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak with you.
How you doing?
Hey, it's a pleasure. I
Thank you.
mean,
Thank you for having me.
what can
Thank
I
you for
say? I
having me.
mean, it's always it's always something when it comes to boxing, because I know eventually different things when it comes to all the divisions. Talking about the divisions, I know you were in 2022 exactly on this month. It's gonna be, I think, 2 years or 1 year something, that you were a challenger for the WBC US NBC heavyweight title. How was it for you to to challenge in that particular case in this fight?
Alhamdulillah. I felt like it was a great opportunity to fight for the most prestigious uh, boxing organization around, and
Awesome,
I'm
awesome. I mean,
very much so
hey,
looking forward to fighting
what's
again
coming on your career? I mean,
for the.
eventually, I know in the past you and Jake Paul, they were trying to make a fight. Um, is this the particular case that you're looking at a fight now, or you now targeting Tommy Fury? What's coming on your career?
Allah knows best. I don't know what's coming next. I'm only the fighter, and I only sign up to fight people. So right now, where I'm signed up to fight is in the Team Combat League. It features a plethora of professional boxers in a team combat format. So there's 8 different teams,
Sure.
8 different franchise cities. This is the first inaugural season. Uh, or should I say, this is the inaugural season? So this is the first season, and
Oh,
looking to
awesome. I
bring a
mean, when it
championship
comes
home
to
to
your house, I know
Istanbul.
it has different type of fighters. I mean, eventually we're gonna talk about very soon in a few with this fighter that eventually it's gonna be on April 22nd. You already know what I'm talking about. It's gonna be awesome. But first thing first, I mean, I know you are in the heavyweight division, and of course you are now on this company that you just mentioned, league combat sports and everything like that. How does it work for you now, being and working with them?
Anybody who has participated in my career professionally, they've always respected the fact that my ultimate goal is a world title. So they're working with me in order to get me in a position to be able to fight for a world title. And with the Team Combat League and Misfits Boxing, I think I'm on the right path. Everybody doesn't have the same path
Awesome.
to
I
a world
mean,
title, but I
it's
believe this
it's
is
gonna.
one
I
that'll
know
work for
that
me.
I call this division, the monster division, the heavyweight division, where you belongs. And not long ago we saw Anthony Joshua going against Franklin. How you rate his performance of Anthony Joshua? I know not too many people there were satisfied. I mean, all due respect to Anthony Joshua, but I seen him from his first loss in the career that Andy Ruiz brought him is not the same. Do you think that Anthony Joshua can still, stick into the boxing field where it comes to all these, great champions?
Yes, absolutely. I didn't see the Franklin fight, but I know that Joshua is a great champion, and people in this new social media era of boxing, it gives everybody such a prominent voice, and everybody has all these opinions that they would never say to your face. I think Anthony Joshua is a great champion. He's back, and I just would like to see him tap into that killer instinct a little more. And it's understandable to be a little hesitant coming off of 2 back-to-back defeats after you lost your first fight, the first fight that you lost by knockout, and then turn around and losing the Usyk twice. That is tough, but Anthony
Yes,
Joshua is a
definitely.
tough
I mean, he
person.
already
He's a
bounced
great
back, and
champion. I
of
think
course,
he'll be
every
back.
fighter out there, I always encourage. Great thing that you mentioned. You said it. Sometimes behind the keyboard, we say certain things and things like that, and sometimes when we see the fighters in front of our faces, we don't say anything. But I always encourage every fight fan to support, every fighters. Even though if you loses a fight, an example, someone loses a fight or things like that. I always said it. It's we need to have respect for whoever loses also a fight because hey,
I mean,
exactly,
if it
champ.
wasn't
I
for
mean,
people losing fights,
I
we
would
wouldn't
call
have
it,
a sport.
I always said this thing, right? Maybe you agree or disagree with me. Even if you're gonna get knocked out in a fight, you have to have guts and more than that. So stand up, in a fight and battle, against your opponent is not easy. So I always encourage everyone, please carefully, when we comment things like that, because I'm pretty sure, these athletes they sacrifices so many things. So I don't think it's appropriate, to call them, in a certain ways. I always leave it for the fighters, You guys fight against each other when it comes to comments, and things like that. But one thing that I can tell you, it's amazing that you said you bring in fights in Baltimore, Maryland, and of course, you speaking on that. I want to send also a big shout out to Jerry Hurt. I know he's coming close, and of course, so many fights out there. When it comes to fights, is are you one of the persons that are interested to see Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder? I mean, eventually it took so many time in order that they were speaking, saying things back and forth, and never happened. So to me, I'm kind of interested to watch this fight if it happens in the future. Are you one of them?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to see Wilder versus Joshua. It's definitely something that I would be plugged into. I would be watching it,
Yes,
and
it is. I mean, even
I think that's a great fight for the heavyweight division. I would like for it
oh
to I would like
yeah,
for it to happen 3 years ago when they had the belts, and then we could have seen an undisputed champion. But I don't know. There's not been a lot of undisputed talks that have gotten to be
yeah,
made
definitely. I mean,
fights in the
I agree
heavyweight
with you
division. So
because when
hopefully we
it
get that
comes
soon.
to these two great champions, I mean, to me, with all due respect to anyone out there, including yourself, I don't whether he has a title or not. I would love to see this fight. What comes in their career because I think that to me, I still like. I want to see what come out in this particular fight, and eventually that's great for the sports. I know too many people maybe they said it, oh, before we won, before this fight happened with the titles and everything, but hey, for some reason politics and other things didn't make a conclusion and come in an agreement to make this fight. That's unfortunately sometimes that things happen in the sports. And talking about in the sports, I know on April 22nd, we're gonna see Gervonta Tank Davis against Ryan Garcia. What do you think about these two great boxers that eventually, it's finally the fight coming soon?
Uh,
Yes, I'm here.
Hello.
Wow,
Yes,
that's
I
totally
think Tank wins by knockout.
a statement that I know Tank. It's a powerful boxer. I mean, I seen every time that they put him and anyone in front of him, he's basically destroying every boxer whoever he comes in this division. And of course, right now Ryan Garcia says, I remember he mentioned in a press conference, he says even though this fight it would not go for a world title, but I think he considered that fight that it's a world title because eventually, let's say in case if he wins, he will shock the world. But I think it's gonna be tough because I don't know. Ryan has the speed and power, but the question is, can he handle Gervonta's power? That's one thing. So it's kind of hard to figure out what's going to happen. But eventually, I know it's great for the sport this fight happened, because we have many names out there like Lomachenko still there, Devin Haney, and of course that's going to be also a great fight. Even though we have Teofimo Lopez, Isaac Cruz, and so many fighters out there. What do you think about this division, that eventually lightweight division is so much intriguing right now in the sport of boxing?
I think that Devin Haney is the king of the division right now.
That's a fight that I know they've been saying that probably it's going to happen in the future. We'll see if he doesn't take too long, because eventually I'm one of the, when I said it takes too long, because sometimes they don't come in an agreement. Sometimes they don't really do things like in order to make fights happen. I mean, one example, and with all due respect to both fighters, great to me, great athletes, great champions, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. I don't know how long it's gonna take that fight. That's for sure. But eventually, all the fight fans and everyone wants to see this great fight. But for some reason, it's not happening. Hopefully, this year they come in agreement to fight each other. So God knows what's coming on their career. Talking about in your career and everything like that, how does it work? Your career now combining certain things that you have to work, and of course maintain your family, because I know a lot of people sometimes they don't ask questions like this, like let's say personally, I'm always try to be respectful and also ask questions like how does it work, your personal life, because I know sometimes all of you just tell us a few things, but eventually how does it start your morning, Hasim?
I don't really like to talk about my personal life. I like to leave that separate from boxing. This is work. You gotta leave what's going on at home. You have to leave that at home, and when you work, you go to work. So this is work for me. This is my job. I don't like my personal life.
It's true. I totally agree with you, and that's respectfully, Hasim, and nothing, just respect for you and everyone out there. And of course, Hasim, another question that I have, it's coming ahead in May 6th, Canelo versus Jordan Ryder. I mean, what can you say about this upcoming match?
Oh, War Canelo.
That's gonna be a fight that eventually, if Canelo wins, we already know that at the door it's waiting David Benavidez Jr. If you, let's say, in case that Canelo beats John Ryder, what do you say about to see David Benavidez and Canelo? Do you think that this fight will create a atmosphere that eventually all the fight fans, they will come and gather together in order to see this fight?
Yeah, I think that's a good fight, but I think David
Benavidez called himself the Mexican monster, but I mean, I don't know. We just saw his performance against Caleb Plant. I mean, nothing but respect a lot for Caleb Plant, because he stood there and I don't know how he survived, but eventually he survived the 12 rounds that he went against David Benavidez, and that's gonna be hell of a fight if Benavidez and Canelo happen. Do you think that if he doesn't, come in an agreement on September, probably they said it that if Canelo doesn't fight Benavidez, are you interested to see the rematch against Dmitry Bivol? We already saw, what it is, and when it comes to a weight division, I think it's too big. Dmitry Bivol, but I don't know if Canelo will go again and face Dmitry Bivol, because one thing is like I always tell people, it was great to see Dmitry Bivol against Canelo, also Dmitry Bivol against Zurdo Ramirez, but for some reason Zurdo Ramirez couldn't do his job, and of course Dmitry Bivol won on this particular fight against Zurdo Ramirez.
Yes,
Sure, definitely,
I have time
Hasim.
for maybe one or two more
Just
questions
one
and then
thing,
I
I
have to
mean,
go.
let us know when it's coming, your fight, and what you expect for all the fight fans to see in this coming event in your career.
Next week, Thursday, April 13th, we'll be competing. The DC Destroyers will be competing. You can tap the link in my Instagram bio and click the first link, and it'll take you to where you can see it. You guys can watch on the app through streaming, tclboxing.com, or you can log into
Oh,
their
great,
Instagram and
Hasim.
their
Well,
YouTube, and they stream the fights from there. Also, I just want to thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for all the love for
no,
always
thanks
tapping
to
in,
you. I mean, when
and
it comes
I
to
really appreciate your
time and
time.
everything, I really value their time from every boxer out there, whether it's an amateur or professional, because eventually you guys put it always a lot of sacrifice on this, and of course we cannot miss your fight and anything that you would love to bring in that particular event in Baltimore, Maryland. So I gotta say thank you, and we stay tuned. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Thank
Hasim
you. Thank
Rahman
you so much.
Jr. from Baltimore, Maryland. It was with us. Thank you, Hasim. You're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.